What do you like best about funny cars?
This is my first time here. I don't know.
Did he have to drag you here to come here today?
No.
You came on your own free volition. Do you like it?
I love it. I plan on coming back again.
What do you like best about funny cars?
Watching them blow up. Loud and great.
Welcome to Billy Meyer's Texas Motorplex, the world's quickest and fastest drag strip. This is the Coca-Cola Funny Car Classic. Bobby Doerrer for Main Event Video, and I'll be your host for the next hour as we bring you the Coca-Cola Funny Car Classic. It's the opening race of the 1987 season at the Texas Motorplex, and we have a great field of cars here for the Coca-Cola Funny Car Classic. In nitro funny car action, Billy Meyer recorded a pair of 5.5s during qualifying. The 550s came after a full week of testing here on his own turf. He even experienced a blower explosion during these sessions that blew his new Oldsmobile body off the car. So it's last year's body on this year's car. He's a businessman, an entrepreneur, and a track owner, but it's his hobby that thrust him into national prominence. He's been racing funny cars since he was 16 years old. He's got 10 national event wins to his credit. Billy Meyer out of Waco, Texas, is an unusual driver. As you can see, he's working on his own car. Billy, what are we doing here?
Well, we're doing a little clutch adjustment here. We've been trying some different clutch stuff for the last couple runs, and so far none of it's worked properly. So we're going to try one more experiment here in this next qualifying session.
The last time you experimented, you blew the body off the car. Was that a big setback?
Pocketbook-wise, yeah, it was. We keep spare cars, so that's not as big of a problem. But it is, being as that was an Oldsmobile, and we had to go back to our last year's cars, that's kind of a big problem.
Meyer's biggest competition is a fellow Texan who owns and races the Blue Max. Raymond Beadle, three-time NHRA World Funny Car Champ, back in the saddle again. Raymond, after a 2-year layoff, you're back driving the Blue Max. What's the story there?
Well, we just tried to come back. We're only going to run on a limited schedule this year, run the NHRA National event and a few selected match races. So, being we weren't going to run a bunch while my sponsors wanted me to come back with Pontiac, and Kodiak's our new sponsor. We're going to give it another try to regain our World Championship status.
You ran the quickest pass you've ever made, 5:51 yesterday. Was that because of the track or was that because of the car?
I think it was both. This is a brand new car that Pat Foster and we built in our shop here in Dallas. The car's different. The first pass we ran on this car in Pomona, we ran a 5:62. The next pass we ran a 5:57. That was about the fourth pass on the car, 5:51. This last run we just tried and we smoked the tires was the quickest 60-foot time ever of any car. So I look for this car to run some 540s here today.
The new technological advances in funny car racing, the computers, the lockup clutches, where do you think it's going to go next?
Oh, I mean, I'd be a fool to say, I guess, because, I mean, I can remember when we thought the 250 was the magic number. I remember when 260 was the magic number. Now we're approaching 270s. Same with ETs. You know, a 540 was something that was unheard of, or a 550. Now we've seen a random amount of those. So I guess the sky's the limit. I don't know.
The Coca-Cola Funny Car Classic, the inaugural event for the 1987 season at the Texas Motorplex, should prove to be a great race. In alcohol funny car action, Pat Austin shocked the drag racing world by recording a pair of 6.19 second elapsed times of his alcohol funny car to set the national record and record the quickest and fastest elapsed time ever for the breed.
watch the quickest run in the history of drag racing for a top alcohol funny car. 619, 220 miles an hour for the Castrol team.
This is Kerry Menard. He's been announcing drag races for many, many years for the National Hot Rod Association. Kerry, what's it like to announce here at Motorplex, the most sophisticated track there is?
I'll tell you what, Bob, I've been to a lot of racetracks around the country, and when they built this thing, the Texas Motorplex, it just absolutely surpassed any other facility we've ever seen.
It is a beautiful track. You got a great view from up here. What do you think about the numbers that's going to be run here today?
I just can't wait till eliminations tomorrow. It just seems like with each and every round of qualifying, they go quicker and quicker. I think the sky's the limit.
Where do you get your all-volunteer crew from?
Well, outside of Henry Velasco, who's my crew chief, has been racing for years. All the rest of my crew are ex-students of mine. They've been students in class 5, 6, 7 years ago, and they got interested in drag racing, and they've been part of the crew ever since.
Billy, how important is the warm-up before a race?
It's real important for us, especially when you're doing a lot of experimenting. We're trying some things again today. We can find out during the warm-up if it'll work, hopefully.
What's it like racing here at the Motorplex?
It's the best track around right now.
What's your opinion on the new technology, the lock-up clutches, the onboard computers?
Well, I don't know if it's good or bad in some ways, but it is technology, and we're traveling forward, and there's no doubt we're going to continue that way. It's good in some ways, it's bad in other ways. It takes a little bit of the human element out of it, which has always been drag racing, but the technology of the automobile is going that way, so we're going to have it.
You have a full-time job as a teacher, right?
Right, yeah, I teach auto mechanics in a little high school in Cerritos in Southern California.
What do your students think when they see you racing a nitro funny car?
Well, they enjoy it. They think it's really great, obviously, that their teacher's out there doing something rather than just lying to them all the time. They wonder sometimes how we get beat at the Winter Nationals by Bernstein and Myers and Beetle, but we explain to them that we can beat them sometimes, too.
Who do you think's responsible for the big numbers here in the Motorplex? The cars or the track?
The track. The track is totally concrete, and it's well prepared. That what makes the difference.
In nitro funny car action, we have two drivers, both from Texas, in the 550. Raymond Beetle back in the saddle of the Blue Max, #1 qualifier. How's it look for you today?
I think we'll do all right. We tried a little bit yesterday, a little too hard, and we smoked the tires, so as long as we don't smoke the tires, I think we'll be in real good shape today.
Who do you see as your biggest competition?
Well, Billy Myers will definitely be our biggest competition here this weekend. We run a 551, and he ran a 555 and a 57 or 9 yesterday, so we figure he'll be our biggest competition for the weekend.
You think we'll see a 540 today?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, well, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Raymond Beetle, Blue Max, back in the driver's seat.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome one and all to the NHRA Winston World Championship Series of Drag Racing, the Coca-Cola Funny Car Classic.
Classic here at the Texas Motorplex. He's won 3 World Championships. He's been gone for 2 years, but he's back. The man is back behind the wheel of a legendary race car. Beetle surprised everybody, including himself, by qualifying #1 here at 5.51 seconds. He thought he had the potential, but he didn't really think he'd do it so early. It was on the full run of the car down the track. So Raymond Beetle, the racing entrepreneur, but he loves to race his funny car. Now the reason he's running by himself is that there are only 7 cars entered here. So the bye run in the first round goes to the low qualifier Raymond Beetle. So he gets an easy pass into the second round. He doesn't have to worry about beating anybody, but if he does do good, he will get lane choice. Great run, he's pounding the ground. 551 again, 263 miles per hour. A great run for Beetle. Duplicating his elapsed time in qualifying, a great 5:51 elapsed time, 263 miles per hour, a great run for Beetle. Fired and running is the next pair of Nitro Funny cars. It'll be Jerry Jefferson in the Oklahoma Land Rush Corvette up against the rookie, Henry Phillips. This has been a turbulent season for Jefferson. Take a look at what happens the following week. Henry Phillips, a rookie who's only been down a drag strip 13 times in his career, against Jefferson, who seems to be having a hard time trying to find the right combination. Both drivers looking to mix it up with the big boys of the world's fastest drag strip. Disintegrating in the lights. 560 laps time, he gets the win, 240 miles per hour. But as you saw, the body completely disintegrating in the lights. Unbelievable, he went right through the lights. The body just completely disintegrated. Roof hatch came off, pieces were flying okay all over the place. He got the car stopped, he's okay. I can see the chutes out. Everything's all right there, but his body is spread up and down the Texas Motorplex, but he did take the win. Now that poses an interesting situation. He can't run that car without a body. Will he be able to come back, or will Raymond Beetle get a bye run into the next round also? Okay, a tough break for Henry Phillips. What happened?
Well, we were on a real good pass. We ran a 560 on that one, but we got down to about 1,000 feet. The body started coming apart. And we've been patching on it all weekend, so it just collapsed in the lights and made a convertible out of it. So we'll just have to try again next weekend.
I'm going to ask you the obvious question. Do you think you'll be able to fix it to race Raymond Beetle in the next round?
We'd love to, but there's no way.
Well, you did win. You ran a 560 elapsed time, a good pass for you. It's only your 13th run in the car?
13th run ever down any racetrack. So we feel real good about that.
Okay, well, we wish you the best of luck and good luck to you. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Meyer from
Andersonville, Texas, the cheap auto parts machine, and today it's a Ford. That's right. Flying Hillsville colors this year had a...
Everybody came to see the boss. Waco Willie, they call him, Billy Meyer. He's driving the cheap auto parts, 7-Eleven car. This competition, Steve Hodgkinson with his beautiful red car out of Oklahoma City. The Meyer's car, equipped with all the latest technology.
This is the tractor trailer rig and mobile machine shop that brings Billy Meyer's cheap auto parts funny car to the races. There's one difference between Billy and all the other funny car racers here. He owns the track.
I'm sitting here with Billy Meyer in the front of his transporter in his lounge with the computer, the TV, the air conditioning, the refrigerator. Isn't it an advantage, Billy? Does it help you?
Well, it's helped us quite a bit over the years. We started doing the video stuff about 5 years ago, and that gave us quite an advantage to be able to come back and look at a run and see where the things smoke the tires and stuff. And now in the last few years with the computers, we have added to our little program. We can come back and analyze a run either on the print like you got right here or on the screen.
What does this computer actually tell you?
Well, like this one on the screen right here is the exhaust temperatures on a run. This is the printout from the engine RPM and the drive check RPM. This one right here, if you notice, is the blower pressure and stuff. So we'll see where the thing's building the most, manifold pressure, etc. And it just gives us a lot to, to help.
So what this does is monitor all these different variables, and when you come back, you plug it in, it tells you what did what, so that you can go out and make some changes.
Correct. Instead of trying to second guess and ask the crew after a run, what happened? Well, I think it smoked the tires. Well, no, it looked like it bogged. So now there's no second guessing. You come back and look at it on the run, then you put the computer on here and you see the drive shaft speed and you see where it spun the tire, and you make a change. Well, a lot of guys have data collecting equipment now, but nothing as sophisticated as this. I think Candies and Hughes is the only other team with something this sophisticated.
The pistons in the light. Meyer had to back off, and there's the upset of the day. Steve Hodgkinson, a 5:81 elapsed time, 211 miles per hour, burning pistons in the lights, blows away Billy Meyer, one of the favorites, the owner of this track. Meyer had problems at the lights. He coasted to a 7:16. He had to back off into the middle of the track, a little bit out of shape. So a big upset here at the Coca-Cola Funny Car Classic. Okay, here we go. Last pair of the first round. Young Scott Coletta, son of veteran track racer Connie Coletta, taking on the independent school teacher from California, Gary Densham, and his teacher's pet. Okay, here comes Coletta, out first into the bleach box, ready to make the smoke. Okay, he didn't get the smoke he wanted. The front wheels vibrating. He brings the car to a halt. Coletta out of Ypsilanti, Michigan, running a car sponsored by Bobby Doerrer. The fleet of planes, they fly cargo all across the country. Now the body going down on Densham's car. Densham, the independent school teacher from California, out on the national tour, very occasionally, came out here to the Texas Motorplex and doing a great job. Although he's qualified in the number 8 position, he's sure he's got a good low 5-second run in him. Ferocious burnout by Coletta. Hooked there very nice out there. Body back up on Denton's car now. Is there a problem back there? We'll have to wait and see. Coletta backing up to his starting line. And I believe we have bad news from Denham's crew. One car, crew chief Henry Velasco at Denham signals it. Will be a single run, a tough break for Denham. So Scott Coletta gets an easy by-run pass into the first round. Coletta clicks it at half track, wants to save the parts. He gets an easy first round win on the bye run. And we'll be back in round number 2 to race Steve Hodgkinson. So that sets up the second round. The question is, will Raymond Beadle run a single or will Phillips make it back? We don't think so. The other pairing, Steve Hodgkinson are going up against Scott Coletta. The winner of that pair will meet Beadle in the final for the Coca-Cola Classic. With all the new technology they have here at the Motorplex, the one thing the drivers appreciate most are the time cards they get after the run. At every other drag strip across the country, they get a time card that has their elapsed time, mile per hour on it, maybe the reaction time. But here at the Motorplex, they get all that and a whole lot more. In addition to their ET and mile an hour, they also get a 60-foot time, an 1/8 mile time, a 1/4 mile time, plus the computer up in the Metroplex Tower figures out who won, who lost, and the drivers also get the identical information for their competitor.
This girl here is entering all the driver's information into the computer. This information is processed and fed to the announcer's screen. When a car comes up to run, the number is entered in. All the information about the driver and car appears on the screen for the announcer. Also is processed into the scoreboards and into the timing system. Pat Austin, driver of the Castrol GTX Oldsmobile alcohol funny car. He finished second in the NHRA Winston Points race last year, missing the #1 spot by only 2 points. His hunger for a world title this year is evidenced by his performance at the track. Hey, Pat, it sounds pretty good. You're the #2 qualifier here today. What do you think is going to happen?
I think the record's going to be broken this weekend, if not by us, by somebody out here today. And I think it's going to be a very fast race, and I don't know who's going to win right now. I hope we do.
Is there any predictions on what you think that record will be?
I think it's going to be close to a teen, maybe a 20 flat, something like that. If the air stays the way it is right now, it's going to be right around a 20 flat or so.
Three or 4 years ago, the nitro funny cars were running in the higher mid-6s, and now the alcohol funny cars are doing that with amazing regularity. What's the cause of that?
It's just that the performance and the parts has mainly helped the performance of all these cars. The nitro cars have dipped into the mid-5s, and the alcohol cars are dipping into the low 6s, and it's going to stay constant, I think, to where everybody's going to pick up to almost about the same in the years to come.
How do you like racing on the world's fastest drag strip, the Texas Motorplex?
It's beautiful. It's the best track I've ever raced on. It's fast, the atmosphere's nice, and fortunately it's not too windy here today, and everything. It's just prime conditions right now.
What about the new technology in racing, the computers and the lock-up clutches? What do you think that's done to the sport?
Well, it's obvious, you know, it's just picked up the performance tremendously. The computers have helped greatly, and the lock-up clutch deal is something it's just starting to happen, and it's gonna even pick them up even more.
What is the actual difference between an alcohol funny car and a nitro funny car?
If you were to walk up and look at a nitro car and an alcohol car, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference by look. The main difference is it's 30 miles an hour faster and a half a second quicker than an alcohol car. That doesn't really seem like all that big of a difference, but you know, there's a difference there, and the noise is a different deal. When they start up, you can tell by the sound, the bang out of the pipes, and the smell of the nitromethane compared to the methanol.
What about the tires, the transmission? There's a difference there, isn't there?
Yeah, the tires, I think, are pretty much the same. The transmission, we have a 3-speed, they have a 2-speed. They shift once, we shift twice going down the quarter mile. But they also have a new mechanism with that lock-up clutch. They have to shift that now, so that's another shift point for them. It's pretty much coming about the same on that.
How about aerodynamics? Does that play a big part?
I think that it's a big part for us. I mean, for the nitro cars, not as much for us, but we try getting the sleekest looking body we can get and the best aerodynamics that we can get. They need a little bit more downforce in the back of the car, so that, you know, they're going faster, so they need more traction to the ground, so they have to use a bigger spoiler on the back of the car.
Okay, Pat, thanks for your time and good luck to you. We're going to go over to the nitro funny car pits now and see what's happening over there. Remarkable what can happen in the pit area of a major funny car race like the Coca-Cola Classic here at the Texas Motorplex. We saw Henry Phillips in the first round win, but completely destroy his funny car body, exploded in lights. He spent the time between rounds going through the pits, talking to all the other funny car drivers, and trying to find a body that would fit on his chassis. Well, he did just that. Another fellow racer that races in the alcohol ranks lent the Black Thunder funny car body to him, and he's ready to go right now against Raymond Beadle in the blue mat. Beadle burning out first, the strongest car of the event. He ran 2 551s here this weekend, and he is ready to go. Raymond opened up the 1987 season with a brand new sponsorship, the Kodiak Smokeless Tobacco people, on his funny car, on his Winston Cup car, and on his sprint car. There he goes, Raymond Beadle, nearby Dallas, Texas. Henry Phillips, the low bucket painter in the other lane. He doesn't have a big sponsor, so what he's going to have to do is wait. Let Beadle do all his burning out and everything he wants to do. Then he'll fire his car. He can't waste that valuable nitro. Fuel for these cars cost him $30 a gallon. Okay, now Beadle has made his wet burnout. Dale Emery lining them up with a dry burnout. Very nice for the dry burnout. Look at all the clutch dust coming from Beadle's car. Boy, that thing is working. And I guess there is a problem with Phillips' car. See it back there in the build-up area, but it's not being fired. So after all those troubles of trying to find another body to fit the car, which he did, now they can't seem to get the motor fired. A tough break for Phillips. So it looks like Ray Beadle will go down on a single here and get into the final by making 2 by-runs. He won the by-run in the first round by virtue of his low qualifying position in an odd number of cars in the first round. Now he's here because his competition could not get his car started. Tough break for Henry Phillips. So here we go, Raymond Beadle, the Blue Max, out of Dallas, sponsored by Kodiak Smokeless Tobacco, ready to lay down a pass. Remember, he's going into the final. I'm sure we're going to see Raymond leg it all the way down the track, though. He's going to go for it. 586, a little bit off his 550 pace, but he did smoke the tires in the middle of the track.
So a good pass by Beetle, a little bit off the pace. And there you see, there's Henry Phillips being towed off. Couldn't get the car started. He gave it the old college try, borrowed a body, but had problems right at the starting line. Okay, here's the other semifinal round. Scott Scaletta, he'll be here in the left-hand lane again against Steve Hodkinson in the right-hand lane. Now again, another pair of independent campaigners, neither of these cars with a major sponsor. Scaletta moving over to the right-hand lane. Making his burnout there, coming out to about half-track. And here comes Hodkinson moving into the left lane. Now, some say the left lane is better here, but we haven't seen a lane difference between either lane here. Kodiak Blue Max. Beetle fell off a couple tenths of a second on his last pass, but again, he did have a little bit of traction problems in the middle of the track. Maybe the clutch was adjusted a little bit too tight. Scaletta sounding strong as he makes his dry burnout. Ready as the ball on into the stage beams. Get ready. Steve Hodkinson here in the left lane. Scotty Scaletta over on the right side. The winner of this gets in the final of the Coca-Cola Classic. Yes, he does. A little bit of smoke. He burns the pistons there. So a great 573, 269-mile-an-hour run for Scott Scaletta. That puts him in the final against Raymond Beetle's Blue Max Pontiac Firebird. Behind me, silhouetted by the luxurious suites here at the Motorplex, are two funny cars that had some problems in the first round, but really wanted to come out and put on a show for the fans here in Texas, so they're going to make an exhibition run, a consolation pass, if you will. Be Gary Densham and his teacher's pet. He'll be taking on Jerry Jefferson in the Oklahoma Gold Rush. With all the traction they got here. Jefferson's going to have to drive that car off the starting line, feather the clutch as he leaves, kind of slip it, maybe pull on the brake handle he's going down the track. Densham, I don't think will do a dry burnout. He's a budget racer, and there's the smoky to get the tires hot, and that's it. Go stage, here they come. Place. Having a problem hooking up. Densham makes a nice pass. 6 seconds flat, 239 miles per hour. A good run for Gary Densham. The Land Rush car having a lot of problems. He goes 9:31. But Gary Densham came out here all the way from California. He wanted to race. Lost in the first round, but just runs a 6-second flat to please the Texas Funny Car fans. One really nice thing about the Texas Motorplex are the luxurious suites you see in the tower complex behind me. Billy Meyer has made sure that all the corporate sponsors here at the Motorplex have a nice place to watch the races. Each one of those suites equipped with a whole bunch of chairs, air conditioning, all you want to drink in the hot Texas sun, and a real nice place for them to bring their sponsors, their friends, to watch a little bit of drag racing here at the Motorplex. Another innovative first here at Billy Meyer's Texas Motorplex are these unbelievable grandstand-style seats he has built for the comfort of the fans. As you can see, 29 rows high. He's got 29,000 seats. The grandstand's elevated 5 feet above the ground so that the people in the first row can see above the people who are standing along the fence. Plus, the grandstands are tilted at a 3-degree angle away from the drag strip, so that if the guy to your left stands up, you can see around him without having to worry about it. There's not a bad seat in this house. We're here inside this little booth with the division director, George Ragland, who's in charge of this event. George, what's your actual job and purpose here?
Well, up here in the control booth, we monitor what's going on the racetrack, also work with the guys that we got down in staging to keep the cars coming up and everything. Just the control center, basically, for the whole race.
How does the Texas Motorplex compare to other drag strips you've been to?
Well, I've been to every national event track we got and a lot of the divisional tracks around the country, and there's some real nice facilities, but the Texas Motorplex is probably hands down the greatest facility that we go to, with the computer, the TV monitors that we have, with the cameras down track where we can check for oil, and we can even watch the staging lanes through a closed circuit TV deal. It's really a fantastic racetrack.
The timing tower at the Texas Motorplex is unlike any other drag strip anywhere in the country. The technological advantages they have here are unbelievable. There's a computer that completely controls the scoreboards, a monitor that looks at the staging lanes underneath the tower so everybody knows what goes on. Here's a direct readout of the scoreboards. The announcers with their computer screen over there that gives all the information a driver would ever want to know, or an announcer. Quarter-mile times, eighth-mile times, 60-foot times, everything is here at the Texas Motorplex. At every other drag strip across the country, when the drivers are finished with their run, they're hot, they're tired, they want to go relax. Everywhere else, they got to go inside their trailer, maybe their truck. But here at the Texas Motorplex, it's a little bit different. This is the Castrol GTX Pro Drivers Lounge, a place where the driver can go inside, get something cool to drink, make a telephone call, relax. This is Glenn Menard, manager of the track. Glenn, how did all this come about?
Well, we decided that the drivers ought to have a place that they could get away from their trailers and come on inside, air conditioning, maybe use the phone. A lot of the customer contacts and their sponsor contacts need to be maintained throughout the weekend. We have a small kitchenette, restroom facility, some offices, and it's just a place to do business away from the pit area.
This track has so many unusual things that I've never seen at another drag strip. It has the spectacular scoreboards, it has the computer timing system, it has closed-circuit TV, the most luxurious suites ever seen in the sport of drag racing. There's a lot of people that come here and see this track for the first time, and they're amazed. How do you feel when you're here?
Well, it's an awesome place, and certainly having grown up in the sport, there's nothing like it. And Billy decided that we needed to have major league ballparks to play major league sports, and that's the impetus here. The signs, the scoreboards are just like you'd see at your local, the other professional sports arenas that you have in your town. The suites are important to keep the sponsors interested in the sport because they're used to going to suites when they attend their NBA or NFL games, and everything is just done with the 1990s and the year 2000 in mind.
Tell us about the drag strip itself. It's a quarter-mile of concrete, without a seam, without a gap. How did that come about?
Well, we decided that many racetracks have concrete launch pads, 100, 200, sometimes 300 feet long. And when the cars leave the concrete, they generally experience traction problems. And so Billy took it to the extreme in saying, what if we had an entire quarter mile of concrete? So it is done in pre-stressed or post-tension method. That is, the entire 1,500 feet of concrete is held together by giant cables that are that long. The track was poured in only 5 sections, and there are no seams. There are just 5 areas where the different slabs come together. The cables inside are under 30,000 pounds of pressure. So actually, it's one giant super slab that, in theory, the earth can move a little bit, but it won't move and crack because it would have to move so much to move a giant slab of concrete.
Everything you're doing here at the Motorplexes seem to be geared towards the driver. It's the longest track, I believe, in the country, a mile long.
It has all the beautiful facilities. How do the drivers appreciate this?
Well, the drivers from their comments have responded just tremendously. They recognize that we tried to take care of the race needs. Concrete guardrails the entire length of the quarter mile and the shut-off area, the length you spoke about, and the facilities like the Castrol Pro Drivers Lounge. But the spectator is taken care of well, too. We have a large number of concession areas, which we're tripling those. Restrooms, second to none in the sport. The grandstands are tall, they're comfortable, they're aluminum, they're safe, and you can hear everywhere on this racetrack. We even have an AM radio transmitter on our PA system so that if you're in your car in the parking lot, you can tune in to 1240 on the radio and you can hear the announcer, or if you're in the back of the pits.
youngsters in the alcohol funny car final, and it should be quite a battle. One lane, it will be Pat Austin, the current national record holder, in 6.19 seconds. He'll be taking on the Texas teenager, Don Gay Jr., who ran a 6:20 in his last round of eliminations. So it's not over till it's over, and here we go with the alcohol funny car final. Running first, it's Pat Austin in the Castrol GTX Oldsmobile. The body's down, and he's on his way into the burnout box. Austin, only 21 years old. He's a youngster, has been driving funny cars for 3 years now. Finished number 2 in the world last year. Both cars ran 6:20 in the semifinal round, so they're both ready to go. Austin, again, the national record, ran back-to-back 6:19s and should have a little bit of performance advantage. Burnout. Don Gay, the teenager out of Texas, 17 years old, driving a funny car. His father was one of the original funny car drivers, and that's where he learned it from. So Pat Austin, all the way from Tacoma, Washington, taking on Dickinson, Texas. Texas is the man from Dixon, Don Gay Jr. Dickinson, Texas. I knew I could say it. Okay, both cars just about ready to go. They're starting to line up on the staging beams. Austin's in the pre-stage first, now here's Gay. They bring the R's up against the clutch on the brake to bring the cars into the staging beams. Very carefully injured into the beams. It's all won or loss on the start here, so we'll see what happens. Out first, Gay, right alongside anybody's race. Pat Austin takes it 3/100ths of a second, 6:21 to a losing 6:24. One of the closest alcohol funny car finals we ever seen. Pat Austin has a perfect weekend here at the Motorplex. Sets the national record, the fastest elapsed time ever recorded for an alcohol funny car, and wins the alcohol portion of the Coca-Cola Funny Car Classic. This is alcohol funny car champion Pat Austin. Pat, you must be really pleased with the way you performed this weekend.
I'm happy. I'm really happy. The crew's we're just astounded. It's great. We're going crazy. We're going to have a good time. Everything's been great. Great weekend.
The Castrol GTX Oldsmobile ran a 6:19, a new national record. Do you think that'll stand for a long time?
I think it's going to stand for a while, until probably next year at this time, but I can't say that for sure. I think the next car that's going to break it is be this one right here again.
Did you think Gay had a chance of beating you?
Oh, sure. I thought he had a chance of breaking the record, too. I thought to myself, if we didn't, run quicker on a 6:19 to better the record, I thought that he might.
Okay, well, good luck to you. Congratulations, funny car champion Pat Austin. The last two funny cars are in the staging lane. Scott Coletta could not make it back for the final round, so under the brake rules, Steve Hodkinson will fill in. Fired and running behind me, it's the Nitro Funny Car final. Odds-on favorite Raymond Beadle in the Kodiak Blue Max, taking on upcomer Steve Hodkinson. The body's coming down, and here they go, the final pair. Raymond Beadle's Kodiak Blue Max in the left lane. Steve Hodkinson, his opposition on the other side. Raymond Beadle, the odds-on favorite to win it. He's got low ET, 551. He's going to shoot for that number here in the final. Right out on Beadle. He's a little bit out of shape, but smoke comes out, and Beadle takes the win. A wild ride for Hodkinson. But Beadle takes a win of 563, 256 miles per hour. So just as everyone expected, Raymond Beadle makes his return to the Blue Max driver's seat, a very successful one. Low ET at 5.51 seconds, and beats Steve Hodkinson in the final of the Coca-Cola Classic here at Billy Meyer's Texas Motorplex. Funny car champion Raymond Beadle, after a 2-year retirement, you got back in the saddle and you did it.
Well, we had a good weekend. We run real good our first run out here this weekend. We run our 551. Then we come back and experiment trying to run a real big number, and we smoke the tires, and we come back today and run a couple more 550. So we're real pleased with our results.
You did have a little bit of luck in the first and second rounds there.
We'll take our luck any way you can get it, but I mean, normally we haven't had any breaks at all, but the car was running good enough. I don't think it'd make any difference if we'd been running any one or we wasn't.
Did a 2-year layoff affect you at all, or?
Well, I might have been a little slower on the lights, but I mean, so far we got from point A to point B.
Nitro Funny Car champion at the Coca-Cola Classic, Raymond Beadle. It was a great Coca-Cola Classic here at the Texas Motorplex. It saw the fastest alcohol funny car field ever with a bump of 6.40 seconds. It saw Pat Austin reset the national record to an astounding 6.19 seconds. It saw Raymond Beadle come out of retirement to win his first race since doing that and run a career best 551 on only his 4th run of the car. For main event video, I'm Bobby Doerrer.
type of people that we have here running the racetrack, I don't really have to worry about the racetrack much. Glenn Menard and Steve Earwood and Bubba and everybody here, it's just kind of rolls on its own, so to speak. I learned from my father to inspect what you expect, but you have to have people that you have to delegate to, that can do all your work, and you just use your mind to kind of think of other ideas. Same with the race car. If I didn't have the crew that we have with Mike and Mark and Jack and Lou, there's just no way, I could do any of this. And obviously, it takes quite a few people, and in our office the same way with Vicki and with Kerry and everybody there. It's just, you have to be diversified with the amount of people you have.
Whatever possessed you to build a drag strip? What made you want to do that?
On the personal side of it, I felt that the sport deserves a lot more than it has been given by the promoters. I think most of the promoters in the sport that own racetracks have not given back to the sport what it deserves. The sport has become a big league sport. We've been playing in Little League ballparks. And I just wanted pretty much to prove to everybody that if you have a big league ballpark, we get supported just like any big league sport, like football or basketball.